meeting to order, and I'll read off the remote participation meeting here. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, in accordance with Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, public bodies otherwise governed by the OML are temporarily relieved from the requirement that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate and alternative means. This meeting will be live on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by joining the Zoom meeting ID number 818-0509-7403, or by calling in at 929-205-6099. For additional information about remote participation, please contact Alicia Hershey at ayer.na.us or 978-772-8220 extension 142 prior to the meeting. So we'll call the meeting to order at 6:07, and we will do our first general business. We'll have to approve the agenda. Can I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
I so move.
Second.
Thank you. We'll go down the
Second.
list.
Sorry.
Thank you. James,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Colleen,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
and Pat.
Yes.
Okay, so we've approved the agenda. Moving on, we'll approve the Ayer Affordable Housing Trust minutes for February 9th meeting. Can I hear a motion?
I think
So moved.
Wait, don't we need to amend them?
We have to move to open, then we discuss, and then we vote.
Okay.
Okay.
So I so moved.
Second.
At this point, Jake, could you ask if there's any discussion? It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? There's a
is there
couple
any
corrections,
discussion?
that's why.
Corrections?
Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple corrections. I would ask that I would request that we put the date of the meeting on the
That
cover
was
page.
already done. That was already done.
Great, thanks. And on the second page, I actually left it in my scanner. Second paragraph, second to last line.
Yep, that was already done.
Excellent, thank you.
I sent these out right after the meeting. As soon as I had them all written up, I sent them out and people sent back their corrections. When I get corrections the day of the meeting, it ain't gonna be done. So those two things got done.
Okay,
I have one more correction. My name is misspelled one of the places.
Oh, it is?
Sorry, I didn't notice it at first. Yeah, one of the places it says C-O-L-E-E-N. So it should have.
Oh, I'm sorry. I will fix that. Yep. Fix Colleen's name. Okay. Anything else?
no, I got these today. That's why, last night, that's why I looked at
Well,
them today.
I
No,
sent
I
these
sent them
out.
out. Yeah,
Hey, I
Elise-
missed it. Yep, I missed it.
I did too. So I sent out the very first copy, not the second copy. So sorry.
Well, I
worries.
didn't send out a second copy. I simply made the corrections because they were very minor. They were misspellings. They were, oh my gosh, I forgot to put the date on it. If there's anything else substantial, that we can talk about it and fix it. But those are the only two things. I missed Colleen's name, so I will fix that. But the misspelling of must rather than mush, and putting the date on, those are the only things. Those are the only things I got. So what else, if anything, is there that's substantial?
Well, I make a motion that the minutes be approved as corrected with that one correction.
Seconded.
Yeah, I'll call for a vote to approve the amended minutes. James,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yep.
Jeff,
Yes.
Colleen,
Yes.
Sean,
Aye.
and Pat.
Yes, please.
Okay, so we have approved the amended minutes for the February 9th meeting.
Thank you very much.
So we'll open it up to public comment and questions. It doesn't look like there's anybody in right now, but we can certainly wait, or if anybody decides to call in, I don't know if it would be proper to reopen the public comment and questions to them.
It's only fair.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
No?
Oh,
That's up to the chair. That's the chair's call.
up to Jake.
We'll open it up if someone decides to come back in. We'll most certainly open it up to them. But we'll move on to the CPC application. So I have excellent news for all of you. We have we presented the CPC application and it got approved for the $60,000. So we can move
Yes.
forward with expanding our rental assistance program.
That's awesome.
Jake, it was approved to go to a public hearing and
Ye-
then to
Yeah.
town meeting. So it will come back to CBC for a public hearing on March 31st, I think is the date, and then to town meeting.
And then
Thank-
once it comes to town meeting, we'll be able to know if we have it or not.
Thank you to the CPC for accepting the application.
Thank you for
Moving
the
it to a hearing.
correction, Colleen.
Hmm. Okay, so the
It's-
application was approved, not the funding. I gotcha.
I think we should pay attention to the date of that funding so we can all speak on behalf of it and overwhelm the meeting.
There will be 4 applications at that public hearing, so I think we're last on the docket, just to, if you're gonna come, know
Awesome.
the order.
Sounds great. Yeah.
And Colleen, when did you say that was? March 30th?
March 31st. And I
31st.
think, give me 1 second, I'm pretty sure that the start time is 6 o'clock because we have 4 public hearings, but I can confirm that in just a second. No, now I can't find it. But I think we had decided on 6 o'clock. It will be
So
the start
the-
time.
I'm sorry, Colleen, this is the public hearing is the 31st. And then it goes back to the CPC.
No, the CPC is the one that runs the public hearing on the 31st, and then assuming it passes the public hearing, then it goes to town meeting.
Thank you. Thank you.
And ultimately, town meeting votes to allow the funds to be used for the application.
Right.
May I ask, what the other applications are for, Colleen?
Yes. Kitty Junction Playground, digitization of the Neshoba Voice by the library,
Okay,
a feasibility study for the Conservation Commission for a public access on Flanagan's Pond.
Thank you. I think Flanagan's Pond is 25,000. Kitty Junction, was that around 90? Or am I speaking way out of turn? Up higher? Okay.
I think, I can't remember the exact numbers, but I think it's closer to 300, 200.
That could be true. Yeah. I could have just been looking at a portion of the budget when I saw it. Okay, thank you.
The
Those are
budget
all
has
wor-
been moving around.
Sorry?
The budget has been moving around.
It's a construction budget. We are in a tough time for construction budgets. And it needs to be right and it needs to be safe. So
Yep.
there's a lot of reasons for that. And these are all great uses of the money. And that'll be by Zoom, won't it?
Yes, it will be.
Cindy just posted,
Yep.
it's a, yep. Yeah, and Jake, I don't know if you know this, but
March
we'll
30th.
be, Sean can talk about this. We'll be revisiting at in-person meetings by the end of the month, Sean?
Yeah, for April 1st. Yeah, starting April 1st, we can go back to in-person meetings. But at least for the select board, I don't know if other groups are going to do it. We will continue to have a hybrid option. The state approved remote participation through July 15th. So the select board plans on offering both the in-person, and then we'll continue on Zoom.
I think that's great, to be honest with you guys. That's a lot of people.
Because we're on this right now, Robert and at his department head meeting talked about the fact that we can have them as of April, in-person meetings, but we can continue on Zoom if we choose up until July 14th. And he doesn't know how many hybrids. I mean, clearly the select board meeting will be hybrid, but he doesn't know how many different different meetings he wants hybrid, because it's a strain on IT and resources. So that will get back to people. So that's something people can be thinking about.
It's actually very difficult to chair a hybrid meeting when you're at the town hall. It just becomes just disconnected. Nothing, Cindy. I'm not saying anything bad about you guys. It's a very big challenge to figure out what's going on the screen 15 feet away.
Worse. Yeah.
Sorry?
I said hybrid meetings are about 3 times worse.
Yeah.
To set up and to run smoothly. But we are looking at new equipment to do that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Sorry to get waylaid on that, but no.
Virgin on your meeting.
We can, if you guys would like, we can discuss it. Either we can discuss now or at the end of the meeting, whether we want to continue with doing our meetings virtually or do hybrid or do them in person. That's entirely up to you guys, whether you want to have that conversation now or we can do it at the end.
Let's do it at the end if people are okay with that.
That works. Yeah, we'll do it at the end.
Good, okay.
So Colleen, thank you for the correction. So the CPC approved the application to go further to like the town. It was well received at the meeting. Aside from that, I have nothing else to add for the CPC application. Are there any other questions or anything you guys wanted to add about? And I just wanted to say thank you for those who had input on the application.
Yo.
Those who went and presented. Good job.
And
Hey,
just a
Ayer.
follow-up, I don't know if everybody saw Cindy put in the chat, the public
Alright.
hearing is March
Go.
30th at 6.
Go.
Pat, did you want to speak?
And you said the public hearing is the 31st, right? March 31st?
30.
No, it's the 30th. Cindy corrected me in the chat. The 30th at 6 o'clock.
Thank you.
So we'll move on to our rental assistance update and review. Alicia, I don't, if you had something to add on to that, you can most certainly take the stand.
So, hi everyone, good evening. We had 6 applications, but one did not get the final update to their application into us. So it's going on a wait list because they had changed jobs and they didn't get me the information about the job changes. And I talked to them today, I had reached out to them several times before the deadline. And it seems a little volatile. They have resources and are changing jobs and look like they'll be okay, though they would have probably qualified. It was hard. I kept reaching out to them and there is a chance that they will be able to get the raft money, but I have to tell you, they were applying for that raft money, and it, just like everyone else that I've actually worked with, it's been horrendous getting money through raft. How are you, Sean, do you find that that's true too?
No, actually the few people recently that I've worked with, they've actually been pretty, maybe they've just had better luck.
Okay.
But yeah, they were pretty on top of it. And they did have, it was easy for them to get their documentation. And it found like the representative that they were working with was pretty flexible with them. So, but yeah, they, the last family I had, it was like maybe less than 8 weeks from the beginning of the application until they got their disbursement.
This family actually had had their application closed, but they were having trouble with their landlord, getting information from the landlord. So that probably is, you know, if you don't have a compliant landlord.
Yes.
So we chose to just go with, I'm putting them on a wait list, but I can't break the rules because I did not have all their documentation. And there's a couple people that I'm waiting for them to update some of their, but I have their basic documentation. And that's the 5 different applications you saw that I sent to you. Did everybody receive that?
Yes.
Okay, so
Hi,
yes, Pat?
go ahead. I just want to, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
It's hard on the phone, strange, but anyhow, I was just wondering on some of these applicants, like you said, they didn't complete it, okay? Were you able to talk to the previous landlord? I sometimes find I get a better response, and again, strictly from a realtor. I get a better response from the previous landlord who says this was the issues. They have nothing to lose. So if you're not getting a response from the current landlord, sometimes it's better to do, you know, go back one. Does that make sense?
well, this is for landlords that are supposed to be working with the owners to, and we're supposed to be giving the current landlord money, so.
To house the people.
All the people on the list that we have right now are currently in their apartments and have been there for a while.
Okay.
So they're all
Okay.
current. Now, I will say that I have not reached out to the landlords yet. I've had several landlords call me and say, did my person apply? And so that was good. So we know. Excuse me?
The landlords want to know if they're getting money soon.
Yes, exactly. There is one applicant that is in a Brady Sullivan unit, and there's a couple questions that I have for all of you about how these 5 applications fit within the, so let's start at the beginning and go with FY 22-101. Can everybody look at that?
Yes.
So this application falls with a problem under our number 3 in our table, in our eligibility table. This person is over 50% rent burdened. Okay. They have been getting a lot of money from family. And part of what I have in there is DoorDash income that they get. I find it, I know the person's there, I know the landlord's working with the person, and I find it hard to deny them this. And if you would be willing to waive that requirement, because we said, and I think that's because we don't want people getting money under the table.
Right.
But I got all their bank accounts, and I do see money coming in from family on that. And we discussed it with the person. And so I don't know how you want to deal with that. If it would require you voting to waive that requirement.
I have a question. Is the problem the type of employment, or is the problem that the rent obligation is too high for the income?
The problem is the person has currently just retired because they're elderly. And so they're trying to cobble things together.
Got it.
The rent application is $1,000 per month for a 1-bedroom, which is actually not that bad.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I understand that the rent versus the income is really dicey. but that is not an unreasonable rent.
So what the applicant did with me is we sat and talked about it, and we talked about her applying for, and I shouldn't even say her, I talked to the applicant about applying for senior housing and things like that. So, and this is just a current retirement. This is somebody cobbling things together, having a lot of family help, that sort of thing. And so I don't think it would be a bad thing at all to do it for a year and set them up for success. And as we're moving through this, move to them possibly applying for housing through subsidized housing. Does anyone, do you think that we can waive number 3, which is after assistance is awarded, a household must not pay more than 50% of its gross income on rent? And I knew when we put it in there, we did that because we just took it from Boxborough, and I thought that's a hard one. And probably we would need to amend this at some point and say without a vote of the board.
I'd be in favor of waiving it because I feel it's a temporary situation. If this person is really looking to get into a senior housing or something like that, it's not sustainable. But I think if it's a stopgap measure, I'd be in favor of going ahead and waiving it. How's everybody else feel?
I feel the same way.
I do have a question. What is DoorDash income? That's new to me.
DoorDash is like it's a food delivery service that restaurants do, like a partnership with the company DoorDash, and essentially they're independent private people like myself. If I wanted to be a DoorDash driver, I could go online, sign up, and they would approve me. And essentially you could go to like McDonald's, for example, and somebody would place an order on an app, and you can go and pick up their food and drop it off, and you get paid for it. But it depends on how much money they've spent and how far you're traveling. So it also depends on how many orders are in your area as well, and how many deliveries you're making in a day. So you may only be able to do 5 deliveries in Ayer, and then in comparison, if you went to like somewhere like Worcester or Marlborough, where you do like 20 or 25. So it's really dependent on how hungry everyone is.
Okay. Something like a private Uber.
Yes,
For lack of a better
Yeah,
word.
for food. Yeah, for food.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
exactly.
It's so the restaurant doesn't have a car and a driver on their payroll.
And this way a person can earn a little income.
Yeah.
Yes.
Should we make a motion to?
I move to waive question 3 in this application FY 22-101.
Second.
Okay, we'll make a vote to waive. It was application. We said it was number 3 on application 101.
Hmm?
All right, James,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Aye. Yes.
Colleen,
Yes.
Sean.
Excuse me. In the interest of transparency, I do know who this person is, so I'm going to abstain from voting on this application.
Okay, and then Pat.
Try again, Pat.
Yes. Sorry, yes.
Thank you.
I'm having my challenges with technology today, okay?
No worries. And then myself saying yes. So with that, we have approved to waive. It was question 3 for case FY 22-101.
Thank you. And as I said, this person's a little bit in transition, so giving them the time to decide how they want to do their retirement and supporting them to get there is, I think, a great thing to do. Okay. So it's the next one is FY 22 103, because 102 is in the wings still. And when we get all of done this, I want to talk about what kind of applications came in and what kind of phone calls came in and why we only got 6 applications, all that sort of stuff. But we'll do that after we go through the applications.
Okay,
Okay.
one question. Now, in 101 and 103, are both of these rentals in Ayer?
Yes,
All of them.
every
just-
one of them is a rental in Ayer.
No, I was just looking at the size of the apartment being rented for each and the cost. That's all. I was making that comparison. It's really strange with the 103 was able, I don't know what kind of apartment it is, but it seemed like we were able to get a much better deal.
Well, I'm gonna give a little bit more information on this one, and this is a Brady Sullivan unit,
Okay.
and I have been in touch with them, and it's not clear that they will be working with us or not. So that's what I'm working on. Okay, they sent us the applicant, the applicant sent us a lease that was from Tossie. And we have a requirement that we have at least a tenant at will lease with this is not somebody who has been evicted or anything like that. And so I'm hopeful that, or has received any eviction notices. So I'm hopeful that Brady Sullivan will want the goodwill of working with us on this. So I have reached out to Brady Sullivan on this and trying to work through it. Okay. And I don't know if that was incorrect for me to bring that up at a meeting. I don't think there's so many units over there that I don't think it's saying anything. But they definitely qualify. And that's the only problem here is working through with the landlord on this one. But if you want to approve it contingent upon we are able to work with the landlord, that would be great. Does anybody have questions on this one?
I'm happy to make a motion if we're ready to go.
Go for
I
it.
move that we accept the application FY 22-103 as presented.
Second it.
Call for a vote to approve FY 22-103. James,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Colleen,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Pat,
Yes.
and myself, I. We have approved application FY 22-103.
Just a question. The approval is pending landlord cooperation?
They all are because we
Oh,
have
okay.
to then,
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
But this does put the person in a better position with the landlord.
Yes,
Yes.
it does. Mhm.
okay.
I should say the renter, not the person, but the renter. Yes.
Mhm.
So we'll move on to FY 22-104. And all of these, many of these, some of these are long-term residents of Ayer. And so they were very happy to have this opportunity. This one actually comes very close to being 50% rent burdened, but with the aid, we'll bring them down. They're just like, before the aid, they're only at $400 before they're rent burdened. And that's actually, this is a little bit more complicated. They've been given a lease, a tenant at will lease that they hadn't signed, but they're willing to sign it if they get the aid from the town. And so That's where this one is. Does anybody have any questions on this?
Now, will these people also be able to put in for senior housing?
Yes, I think they prefer to live where they are. And if, what we could ask them to do, they currently have not applied for, Section 8, but we can ask them all to apply for Section 8 or senior housing.
And I don't know if it'd be much cheaper now. I don't have a clue.
Well, so senior housing takes something between 33 and 37. What does this housing authority take at this point? Do you know that, Sean? I
Actually
think
don't.
they take about, they
I
might
would
have
think,
moved up.
yeah, I would have thought right around 30.
Well, they've been moving up, so it's getting up closer to 35.
Yeah.
Percent of their income. So whatever your income is, I haven't done the math out here. Right now, they're very close to 50%. With our help, it'll probably bring them down to 40%. Senior housing might do better for them.
And I'm just thinking in the long run, after this,
Yep.
after this one-time deal, I'm just thinking, to have a whole year to try to work on something, and just to help themselves. That's all I'm saying.
Mhm. Some people like their independence too, though. And
No,
even-
we all do to what we can afford. It's
yes.
two-headed sword.
Yep. So I would need an approval on this one. This one, they clearly qualify. Both people have a disability.
I move that,
Go ahead, Cindy.
I move that we approve rental assistance for FY 22-104.
Second.
A call for a vote to approve for the rental assistance for FY 22-104. James,
Aye.
Cindy,
Aye.
Jeff,
Yes, aye.
Colleen,
Aye.
Sean,
Aye.
Pat,
Aye.
and myself, aye. So we have voted to approve rental assistance for FY 22-104 pending their cooperation with the landlord.
Okay, thank you. So we'll go on to FY 22-105. Now, this person, very long time resident in the same apartment. The building got sold and the landlord has been increasing the rent by about 150 for the last 2 years. And it's putting a strain on the person. Now you look and you see that the applicant's income is stronger than everybody else, but it's still hard to live on that. The person is employed, long time employed at their job, and qualifies. So, and finding the change of the rent $300 in the last 2 years, very hard. So does anyone have any questions on this? This is a landlord I have not talked to yet. They're an out-of-town landlord and, but I don't foresee that they shouldn't want to work with us. The unit qualifies in easily, and so.
Can I hear a motion to approve FY 22-105?
So moved.
Second.
Seconded. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm going to
Hello?
call for a vote.
Wait,
Yep.
Pat wants to say something.
It's Pat. I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time with this phone thing. I told you I'm tech challenged. My question is 1,100. Is anything included in that rent? Or do we know?
Yes, well, I don't know right now because my file's at work and all I have is this. They did report what they were doing for heat and electricity. I actually think this person's paying for both heat and electricity. Because we only had the 6 applicants, I didn't actually play out all the heat and electricity because it wasn't going to make a change in what we were doing.
Okay,
So some people are paying, everybody's paying some utilities. Every one of these people are paying some utilities. Some are only paying heat, some are only paying electricity, but everybody is paying something on
okay,
top of
and
their rent.
I'm not trying to be difficult, please understand. I'm
No,
just looking at it, 1,100 for 1 bedroom is not bad. And that's why I asked what was included, but, okay, I'm happy to approve this, because I think that people are not looking for help who don't need help.
so what's really interesting is, I'm giving you incomes that are gross income. Now, if your
Okay.
income's, some of the Social Security gross income, they're getting all of that. This is an employed individual, and there is a lot of taxes being taken out on this. So you say, that person's making 40,000. Well, it's probably closer to about 34 at the most.
Agree,
that-
agree.
That changes it a lot. So the income is not really even, but I've always worked with gross income. But some people who are getting, the straight Social Security or assistance is getting all of their income, while the people that are employed are not.
Right,
I think
and
that
again, trying to be difficult, I just want to understand, that's all.
And
I appreciate what they're paying, that's crazy money.
yes. And what will be really interesting is, as we work through this program, I came up with this income document and things. And as I was working through, I thought, okay, we only have X amount of people, so this is pretty straightforward, but we'll work through the utilities. We will work through how we want to handle income, all those kinds of
Right.
things. Do we want to do net income instead of gross income? The reason we do gross income, because net income, there's a lot of ways to get to net income. And so gross income seems a little bit fairer, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about that until we've got double the applicants that we have slots. I was really thinking
Exactly.
about, as I looked through this, that, yeah, net income would work a lot better for this person. So we have to keep that in mind going forward, but not this time.
Yeah.
So I move that we accept FY 22-105 unless there's other discussion.
I'll second
I'm
that.
up,
Oh, actually, I think we already did that, didn't we? I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Sean and Jeff already did that.
We need someone to take some notes here, Sean, right?
Yeah, somebody
Take
has to
minutes.
somebody better take notes.
So
Move
I'm
on
gonna
to
call
what
for.
was-
I'm sorry, what were you guys gonna say?
I'm sorry, I said move on to 106.
Let's take a vote. We're goofing around, Jake. Would you please take control of this meeting, Jake?
Well, I'm gonna call for a vote for the approval of application 105. Pat,
I second.
Vote.
She didn't pick that up. I think she's having trouble hearing.
Hello,
It's a
can you
vote.
hear
Pat.
me?
Pat, we've called for a vote.
I said
Do-
I'm positive, I would vote yes for them.
Okay, thank you, Pat. Sean?
Sorry,
No, no
Yes.
worries.
Aye.
Thank you, Colleen,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Cindy,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
and myself, I. We have voted to approve rental assistance for application 105, and we'll move on to 106.
Very good. Okay, so I'm just looking at this, and I actually think I might have made a mistake on this. Did I?
Yep.
I'm missing the rent burden on this one, and I didn't give them points for that because I had missed it on this form. So this one actually goes to 49 points, probably our highest scoring applicant.
Yeah, because
And-
their rent burden's very in the 80s at this point.
Yeah, yeah. And so, and the income has changed. This is a long time person in that rental. But their income has changed. And there's, once again, some very difficult things going on. And so the income was not this low beforehand, but it is now. And we will work with them to get them applied for Section 8 and things like that. And maybe some family housing, but there's less family housing out there. We'll just keep working with them. That's this one, the landlord has spoken to me and I know he will work with us.
Good.
So,
The question, I would say age, if both of these persons under 18?
no, one is a parent and one is a child.
Oh, okay, okay.
If there ever was a situation where utilities were included, I want this to be one of them.
Not
Serious.
not all utilities are.
Yeah, I understand, but even with the assistance, the burden's still huge.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Can I hear a motion to approve application 106?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. I'm going to call for a vote to approve application 106. James,
Yes,
Cindy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Aye.
Colleen,
Aye.
Sean,
Aye.
Pat.
Can I ask a quick question?
Certainly.
Is this a Brady Sullivan unit?
No.
Okay, then I'm going to say yes. I vote for them. I had a similar situation in a Brady Sullivan unit. That's why I asked.
Okay.
Thank you. And then myself, aye. We have voted to approve application 106.
Thank you. And I'll adjust the sheet to show all the reflected pieces.
Thank you for all you've done, Alicia.
Yeah, this is awesome.
We've actually
Thank
just,
you very much.
it isn't much, guys, but think about what we just did. We just approved the first tranche of Ayer affordable housing.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Well, let's get through CPC and town meeting. We'll do more.
I have to tell you, I'm not that disappointed that we didn't get more applications because I didn't want to tell anybody no.
I know.
You know,
Something
have-
something tells me the world is conspiring that we'll end up with more applications probably sooner than later.
Oh, yeah.
Pat, Pat was trying to say something.
I think it's so amazing that we've affected so many people's lives, not just adults, but children.
Mm.
Mhm.
You know, I just can't even. It just boggles my mind that this many children are just wondering.
Some
I
of
don't
these-
know. As a child, I wonder where I would sleep the next day or where the next meal would come from, and I'm one of 10. So it's just awesome to do this for these children. So I
Some of-
thank all of you.
Yes, some of the applicants had also been at one point in the air motor inn. So these are all local people. Some of them original
There are
residents.
neighbors and friends. There are neighbors and friends. Let's face it, they are.
Yes. So
know?
the other one I wanted you to think about, so as I got a number of calls, some from landlords, some from residents. One came in, she had an eviction she was defying an eviction. It wasn't a Brady Sullivan eviction, it was a different one, and wanted to apply for it. People don't understand that we're not going to be handing them the money, we're sending it to the landlord. And was upset that she didn't have a lease, she had a current eviction, and she was defying her eviction and she couldn't apply. And I shouldn't say she, the applicant. So we got those, and those are pretty clear cut because you have to be working with people that are in a workable situation.
Hmm.
I get a number, well, I say a number, 2 or 3 calls from landlords who had family members in qualified units, had family members in them for a long time, usually disabled or elderly. We're giving them very, very discounted rent, and wanted to know, and some of them were like, I'm not going to take any more rent. They just have so little limited income. I'd love them to be able to qualify. So this whole tenant landlord cannot be related, number 9 in our guidelines. For next year, I think we should talk about, we could do things, everything from saying that the landlord has to show a year's worth of cash checks or something like that. So if it's a true unit and it truly qualifies as a unit, I don't know, what do people think about this? I shouldn't be talking about this. It was just a really interesting.
I personally, I think we should stay away from that. When you get these rental properties, landlords have a way to manipulate a lot of things. How much income, how much is that income they receive? Are they reporting it as taxable income? So that's why I do not want to get involved with related. I mean, I think it's a reason why we have that there.
Okay.
And anyone can give you a story. And I'm not saying it's not true. It could be true, but when you're dealing with related parties, you have to be careful. Really have to be careful. I just think we should stay away from that.
Okay.
And be understanding if they got a sob story, say, well, I understand, but we just don't do that. That's all.
I agree.
James, I'm 100%. I agree.
I
100%.
feel so.
I'd like to also bring in that we have approved accessory dwelling units here in accessory units here in
Yes.
Ayer,
Yes.
which is, it would be great if I could get $6,000 for the in-law on my property.
Right.
When my mother,
Well-
my in-law may not actually need that type of support, which I think is what James is saying. So it's a slippery
Exactly.
slope. I think we should revisit it, Alicia. I think it's an important topic to discuss, but it's going to be hard to convince me.
Well, so what I did do with them is there's state programs that if they really are in need, that they can apply for.
And I think even sometime when you get to the state, when they start dealing with related parties, it gets tricky.
Yep. Very
Um,
good.
If I can add, as a realtor, taking my affordable housing hat off, putting my realtor hat on, many times a landlord will not consider that they've been living with a relative. Sometimes relatives will say things that are not, I don't want to say they're lying, but it's not really accurate. So other landlords won't take that as seriously. I just think we need to look at that more seriously when it's a relative renting.
Okay. So I just wanted to report to you about how we did outreach. We got an article in the newspaper. Actually, Alan suggested I call over to, sorry, here's my little kitty. Yes, I love you too. So anyway, okay, Phoebe. Okay, excuse me.
See, the difference is my cat comes in the room and gets near me. That's enough and leaves. Jake's cat's all up on his desk too.
Okay, so sorry, it just distracted me. We did a newspaper article. We sent out postcards and we put it on Facebook, and Cindy and Janet and people handed out flyers, and Jake got flyers and handed them out. I think we did some pretty good coverage, but I was a little surprised at only getting the 6 applications.
I also spread it into all the community groups, and I didn't see a whole lot of traction on those posts.
So we'll see where the saturation is, how much need. Because a lot of times we do have some strict requirements in this. And so maybe that's going to just say, okay, this many people need it. I do think that it is the first time out there. And when it's a new program, it takes a little while for people to get their heads around it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we should go forward. Now, I would like you've approved all these. If I can get the landlord on board, we'll do all 5 of them. That's what I will be doing. There was 2 landlords that I did not want to call before we got approvals, because the tenants did not want the landlords contacted if they weren't going to be approved.
Oh,
Okay. So, because they haven't really wanted to sign the lease or something like that.
or they didn't want the landlord to know that their situation was precarious or whatever. That's perfectly understandable.
So I haven't called all the landlords. I do know that, and that some of the landlords, the one Brady Sullivan one will be, it's going to be how they decide, because I am going to ask them, okay, so the next question for you, if Brady Sullivan's willing to sign a tenancy at will agreement, almost as a addition to the lease that they inherited from Tossie, would this committee be comfortable with that?
You're saying, so if Brady Sullivan is willing to sign something or give them a letter just acknowledging that because I guess for Brady Sullivan, that's not really saying that there's an end date for them.
No, it's a tenancy at will.
Yeah. But we have to get them on board because we need them to be the receiver of the payment, right?
Yes. And we wrote this, that the landlord has to be on board.
Right.
They do.
It's an interesting point that you bring up, because in the transition of what's going on over at Devon's Crest, they're not going to be able to get to all the units this year or next year. So there may be people who are actually living in that limbo. I mean, that is stress enough in your life. Okay. The upside is they're probably not going to be paying the closer to market rents that they're going to be getting after the units have been renovated. But there's got to be a way to put together something that can be signed and notarized along those lines that they can bring forward to us that would show that there is some distance in their lease.
Well, we're not requiring we're not requiring that the landlord cannot evict. So
Right,
say
agreed.
something goes wrong and the landlord needs to say, yeah, this isn't working. There is room for them there is an understanding that we think it's going to go for a year.
Mhm.
And hopefully this helps it go for a year.
No, I understand, Alicia. It's just, you don't want to be in a situation where we approve them and that is the day that they get the eviction notice.
Yes. Well, that's why I'm speaking with the
And
landlord.
really becomes, I mean, I don't know, because of the relationship between the parties that we're discussing right now, I'm not even sure that they would be willing to do it, but I would be willing to consider it, to be honest with you.
Well, I do have a requirement that I have at least an agreement with a tenancy at will. Are you comfortable with a letter stating a tenancy at will?
From the previous landlord?
No, not, I've got the lease from the previous landlord,
Right.
that they understand that they have inherited a lease from the previous landlord. And at this stage, it is a tenancy at will under those conditions, and that they're the landlord.
Yes.
I think this brings up a really interesting point to, you create a program, you do all these things, what documentation you need, what ways to avoid people taking advantage of it, or But then we have a unique situation that, this is a person who definitely needs assistance. And I'd hate to see them not be able to get it because there's an uncooperative landlord. So and just knowing that, even as a town, what little we know about what's occurring with that property, it's when I would almost propose that we just waive one of our requirements and use her other lease. And I mean, if there's a way around it, like I said, I'd hate to see this person miss out on this because of an uncooperative company.
But if you say, we're going to waive it, and then we provide the money to the landlord and they don't accept it.
No, I
Yes,
think that we need a letter from the landlord saying that they will work with us
Yeah,
and they consider the person under tenant at will.
yeah, we have to have that because otherwise,
I agree. It's just hard to swallow.
well, I know, I hate it, but you can't force a landlord to take a check from us if they're in the process of trying to
Right.
Encourage everybody to go away. This is just another way for them to do that.
Yes, Pat?
Can I, as a realtor, on Section 8, if a landlord will not comply and go along with the Section 8 documentation, then they don't get the check. So we might look at it the same way. If a landlord's not willing to comply, we're not asking a lot. We're trying to give you money here.
Yep.
So if they're not willing to comply, then maybe we're not willing to work with them.
Yeah, but that leaves the tenant in the lurch. So I
understand. I'm just saying that's how Section 8 works, and the state or federal of subsidized rentals. And so I'm wondering if we want to follow that route.
We probably do. We just have to remember we cannot cover everything here. There's always going to be some exceptions. It's going to be bad for this particular person, but there's no way we're going to be able to handle everything out there. We're going to have to do the best we can and hope for the best, like we're doing with this. And then we can be concerned about the ones we don't have. There's not much we can do. Even if we got everyone, we don't have enough money to help everyone anyway.
I agree.
Sorry. Likes a lot of attention. So this is good. This is actually really good. And I just realized something. I should have realized it before. We are having a joint meeting next. What does anybody remember? I know it's my day.
23rd.
The 23rd. So I'll give you an update on everything and hopefully everything will be in line. And after talking with the accounting department, there is something that the landlord shouldn't have a problem with because they should be, claiming all their income. But because we're a town, we will have to give them a 1099 for the income they got from the town.
And we'll need to get that correct EIN and our social before we give them a check.
Yep, I will. That's why I was talking to the accounting department. I said, so what are you going to need from me? And we will also sign an agreement with the landlord. It's not a contract, just a understanding with the landlord, because we don't have to contract with the landlord. It's just an understanding under these circumstances. And in that also will be the understanding that, and we'll sign an understanding with the tenant too, that if anything changes, they're going to get in touch with us, if they should move or if the landlord, all that needs to be clearly stated. Okay. So I think this is pretty good. I don't think I have anything else on this right now, unless anybody has questions. Okay.
All right, we'll move on to our Air Commons. there's any new business for that, Alicia?
Possibly, not really, nothing that I can report on. The it might still, it's not dead. Let's just put it there. It's not dead. There is a complication with the appraisal, but they're working on that. And that's all I can really say on that right now. I wish I could say more.
Don't say anything, but congratulations that they're still working on it.
Yes, yeah, actually, the fact that they're still working on it.
Movement in this direction is still good. That's
Yeah.
great. That's great.
That's, I was afraid it was dead. So that's kind of where I was, Jeff. That if they're still talking about it, we're okay right now. We're moving in the right direction.
As I said a few weeks ago, a little while ago, there's a lot of money chasing real estate these days. They'll find a way.
Yeah.
They'll find
And
a
I
way.
just looked at my my agenda and I've got air comments on there twice. I'm sorry. I did this very quickly. So
You just nailed two. You got two. You got two with one shot. There you go.
there we go. Okay.
So at the last meeting, we had been talking about funding. Should NOAA move forward and want funding from CPC? And so I ran it by CPC, and they were in favor of the idea that NOAA would go directly to CPC with, support from us as the trust. But it shouldn't be us asking for the money. If it's, all going to NOAA, NOAA should be the one that would come forward with the proposal.
Good.
So hopefully that will, it will move forward and that'll be relevant down the road.
That's good to know. Thank you. And probably better because it's a big chunk of money that they'll be looking for. So better that the town have a hand in deciding who's going to get it.
Thank you, Alicia, for the update. So there's no anything new for old business or new business. Is there anything anybody would like to bring up or add to old business? Anything for new business? Okay. Alicia, you said we have a joint meeting April 23rd.
Yes,
March 23rd. And
March 23rd.
March 23rd. Thank you. And okay.
Did we decide on a time? Because I don't remember.
it says 6 p.m. when it.
Thank you, James. I'm so glad you're organized.
No, let's don't go that far. I just happen to have it this time.
So we'll bring up the discussion of would you guys like to remain on the virtual meeting in the virtual platform? You want to do a hybrid meeting? Do you want to start meeting in person? What works best for you guys?
Why don't we do for the 23rd? Why don't we do Zoom and then we'll decide at that meeting what we're gonna do afterwards, if that's okay with everyone.
Can I ask a question?
Certainly.
My question is to Colleen, because you were concerned, and to Pat too, because both of you were concerned about meeting in real life. How are you feeling now? If one person is not comfortable, I'm all in favor of continuing, or at least having the hybrid option. So how are you guys feeling?
Well, why don't we wait until the 23rd? They have a little more time to think about it, and we can decide on the 23rd. Well, they have another couple of weeks to think about it.
They can tell us right now how they feel.
We need to do the March meeting in Zoom.
Yeah.
Right.
So I agree. I think if somebody has an issue with doing anything in person, or they're still concerned with COVID-19, we can most certainly continue with meeting online. I don't know. I believe it was Cindy Knox had discussed earlier about the time and resources it takes to do a hybrid meeting. And I think in our past several meetings, we've been very productive doing the virtual platform. I know for myself, it's convenient to do this. I do apologize for running late to this meeting. I'm coming home from work, so it helps out a lot. So I can come home and have some time to prepare myself for the meetings. And then I know everybody else has family and personal lives outside of here, so we'll take some time and we'll think about it. And the March 23rd meeting we can discuss afterwards. I don't know in this meeting if you guys would like to plan a date for our April meeting, if that would be something you guys want to handle now, or we can handle it at the March meeting at the end. Entirely up to you guys.
I actually like the idea of being on the same night every month. To be honest with you, it allows me to schedule everything out. I mean, in any one week, I may decide to attend 2 or 3 or 4 Ayer meetings. And I think it helps the town also if we kind of stake our claim to the first Wednesday of, what is this? Is this the first or second Wednesday?
Second Wednesday.
Yeah.
So that would be 13th. The 13th would be the next,
Yeah,
April 13th.
April the 13th.
Yep.
Now, would that work for everyone here? If we did the second Wednesday of every month, would that be something that everyone could agree to? That way we can almost build into that, put that into our schedules as something that's permanent, a little more concrete.
Good for me.
Good for me.
And Jake, you just mentioned something. Are you rushing home to meet at 6 o'clock meeting? We at the planning board, we start at 6:15 just to take the pressure off the rushing home. We don't want you driving fast and doing something dangerous in order to come to a meeting. Because if it goes south on you, you can't come to the meeting anyway. We built in that. There's a reason for 6:15 for the planning board guys. It just made sense. We still get it done early, but it gives you that buffer to get home and be safe.
Thank you for your concern. Usually I get out at 5, so usually I'm good if we have like a meeting at 6. Like I'm usually pretty squared away to get home. This just tonight we got out a little later than usual. We come back later on a call, and as everyone knows, it's snowing out, so made for some slow driving. But no, I like that idea too. If anybody is kind of cutting that close or they're coming late, we can most certainly set it to like 6:15 or anything works.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff.
I'm sorry, but I used to drive almost 60 miles to get to the meeting at 6 o'clock. Yeah, it's a challenge depending where I was in the state at the time. So we moved to 6:15 and that took all the pressure off. So, but no, 6 o'clock on the 13th works.
Excellent. So we'll do 6 p.m. on April 13th. And then from here on out, we'll just continue to meet on the second Wednesday of the month. And if anything changes, we can obviously go from there. Is there anything else anybody else would like to add this evening? I know we're getting out this was a shorter meeting, but I'm sure we'll have some more in our upcoming meetings.
It was shorter, but we got a lot done.
Oh, you read my mind, Cindy.
I wanted to ask, how is everyone feeling with the progress we're making? I know tonight was an excellent night, but I hope everybody's feeling positive about the decisions we're making here. And if you have any ideas or input to make sure you bring them to us, any new ideas or any innovation would be excellent.
So I'm going to throw something out here. This is kind of probably should have been. I had asked Ken and Jeff if you want to come in at some point. We had a developer vaguely ask what in lieu of payment would be on something that they were looking at. And the bylaw is a little bit vague on this. And I think that we need to really push some numbers around and come up with a very strong formula for that. because in lieu of payment for the inclusionary zoning could give this committee some real money to spend. So anybody who wants to go look at the inclusionary zoning bylaw, and anybody who wants to sit down and push numbers around with me on this is more than welcome to. I know Jeff and Ken are good, two good people, one from the committee, one from
It's the easiest thing in the world.
No, it
You pick a
isn't.
number that you know what they want to spend and you triple it, and then you negotiate.
No,
but
you
no.
don't triple it. It depends on if you want money or do you want units. And
Yeah,
to a
no,
certain extent-
it's a negotiation in each and every single one of them. You know what might be helpful, Alicia? I'm comfortable with in lieu of, because I had to tackle that one like over a decade ago in another lifetime. And I know Ken's pretty comfortable with it also. Maybe it might help if we do a little bit of a
Well, I think we want some
an introduction.
guidelines around how we're going to do it. Now, when I was at the Housing Authority in Groton, we had in lieu of payments, and we had a lot of money. We actually developed the project next to Shaw's
Mhm.
with in lieu of money, and we built a house, a whole house with in lieu of money that was handicapped accessible. So
Mhm.
in lieu of in lieu of units, and remember, these are two for-profit developers who are building units that are going to be at 80% AMI. So getting money versus 80% AMI units is not a bad deal.
It's a trade-off, but I agree with you. I agree with you. And like I said, the thing about doing in lieu of is there's kind of lots of little levers to push.
Yep.
You know, and it might be something that if we want to do a quick presentation, or I mean, it can go, the conversation can get very deep very, very quickly.
And I want to have that conversation on the side before I bring it.
Yeah. And if you've been talking to Ken about it, and you talk to Ken and I about it, I mean, Ken and I talk almost daily about this stuff.
Yeah.
It floats our boat. But it is a very valid tool for towns like us. I mean, right now, I see us getting to 10% affordable as quickly as possible. My vote for in lieu of is it doesn't get us there right away.
Mhm.
We're looking at the MBTA thing coming up and some other things. So the ground's changing. The ground rules are changing for affordable in this area. And by the way, if you all get a chance to read the Groton Herald from last week, read it. They start talking about it's interesting how Groton's approaching affordable housing up there with the MBTA new zoning. I don't think they got the fact that it's a shall, not a please from the Commonwealth yet. But yeah, no, I would love to be in a conversation about in lieu of, to be honest with you, because the direction that the planning board, if I may speak on that on behalf of the planning board, or me as a member of the planning board, we want to take is we want to work hand in glove with affordable housing to make sure that the community gets what the community wants. And these people sitting on this Zoom call are critical to that process.
Yeah.
So even though I understand it, I may not be able to make the right decision, and I'm perfectly aware of that.
That would be so great, though, if you did that, because you and Ken are really numbers people, and you really understand this stuff. And you know, the 80% AMI units are just, when it's based on Cambridge, it's just not really helping us that much. So,
you know, we always throw Cambridge under the bus, but Weston's in there also, and Belmont.
Okay, Weston then.
Yeah, no, there are a lot of communities. You know, I get it. If I could redraw the line,
Yeah.
oh, I'd put it on the other side of town, like in a second.
Yeah.
I would either go Middlesex North, or I would go, you know, I would redraw Worcester, or redraw that line. Okay, but even Worcester puts us in trouble with Harvard. I mean, there are anyway. So I won't get lost in that. But I'm happy to talk about Alicia.
Yes, the answer is yes. Jeff wants to do that.
Good.
I'm happy to. I'm looking at the big picture. I think the community needs more housing that is accessible. Call it affordable, big A, call it little A affordable, whatever you want to call it. We need more housing, and we have a housing production plan that we gotta get to.
Yep.
And this will help us along the way. you know, and we've been working on green space, which is good. Now let's work on green space and more housing.
Agreed.
Adjournment?
If anyone else has nothing further to add, we'll close the meeting out. Thank you all for your time this evening. I appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you on March 23rd. And please, if you have any questions, reach out to myself or Alicia.
Excellent.
Thank-
Move to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Jeff?
Seconded.
Second.
Colleen.
Thank you.
Time is 7:21. Yay.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.